Work out. Muted still. There we go. You got to have the intro. Here we go. How embarrassing. Hi, guys. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. And yeah, that was another glitchy opening. Sometimes it happens that way. I've been getting so good at this, and then tonight I bring a guest on, and I totally flub up. My friends, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. Like I said, I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, tonight we're doing another live show and tell, showing off the comics that belong to all of my clients as they come back from CGC. Tonight we have 2 boxes to share with you. Another box did arrive today, but we're going to hold off until Monday with that one. And I do believe more are on the way also. Today I also want to talk to you a little bit about Daredevil Born Again, because I've been watching. It's been pretty darn good. And I could talk to it at length, but I figured I'd bring somebody on here who knows a hell of a lot more about TV, movies, and all that good stuff than I do. And that would be my old friend, Andrew Young. Looks at Andrew on here. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Oh, that's really close. That's better. Boom.
There we go.
That's better. My gosh, that was scary. Like right up there. It's, sometimes you start the show and I just, all kinds of crazy things happen. Okay, let's get it more. Let's have Blue Lagoon background. There we go. Oh, that's too bright. How about a fruit salad? No, that's not good either. The Canadian flag.
Sure.
No, that's not good.
No?
There we go. That's more muted. Here we go.
Okay.
Andrew.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad. All the way from GEEKHARD.
Yes, that's right. GEEKHARD. We cover movies, TV, comics. We interview directors, actors, comic creators every Friday night live on realityradio101.com. But also, I don't know, when you said, I know a lot about movies and TV, I'm also the biggest Daredevil fan.
Oh, so it works out just fine then.
Yeah, it works out great for me. In fact, you can't see it here, but I actually have Daredevil comics up on the wall. I got Daredevil posters. I'm a big Daredevil fan. It's just weird that it's the one shot of my apartment where you can't see the Daredevil stuff.
Well, you could have rearranged the whole room, but no need. I take your word for it. And I'm glad that we called you in here then, because you must have been pretty happy that it was coming back, and also maybe a little bit trepidatious. I don't know. We're anxiously awaiting it. How did you feel as it was being produced? Because it was kind of announced, and it was kind of, they were going to change things. And
yeah, well, the thing is that it was announced. I got excited because they said it's going to be 18 episodes they're producing and everything like that. I got really excited about that. They said, bring about Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. And I'm like, all right, that's good. And then at first they're like, yeah, but John Bernthal for the Punisher. But after that, nobody else. And that sounded kind of weird. And then the writer's strike happened and the actor's strike happened. And during that time, Kevin Feige told them to put together what they had of the first 4 episodes, the team that was working on it. And they said it felt almost like Ally McBeal. That's what I was getting a lot of comments. And he wasn't doing very many Daredevil things in it. And it was acting like all the stuff that happened in a Netflix series never happened. And so I got worried. But thankfully, so did Kevin Feige, and he fired the directors and the showrunner, brought in a new showrunner, brought in the Loki guys, the directors of the Loki show, to do the directing, and they brought back in the continuity of the Netflix series, and I breathed a sigh of relief. And then I watched the series, and while I was shocked and surprised by certain things, I felt like they stuck the landing pretty well.
Now, you've seen the whole thing because you are one of those special people that gets the whole thing sent to you and you can review it and whatever.
Yeah.
But most people here probably have only seen 3 episodes. I think the 4th one drops tonight, actually, at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, at 9 it drops, yeah.
We won't go forward and spoil anything for anybody, but based on the 3 episodes, I mean, maybe it's hard for you to do because you know what's going to happen, and maybe that tainted your view of it, or maybe it excited you. I don't know.
No, here's the thing. These first 3 episodes, you can look at them like in a bubble as like almost like the first season of a series of stuff, because the first episode is kind of like we're acknowledging the Netflix series, but we're letting you know that this is a new chapter for Daredevil. Of course, the first 15 minutes, pandemonium reigns, and there's a lot of big moments. There's moments that are kind of aping stuff from the comics as well, including Daredevil and Bullseye up on the rooftop. You know, that's been a thing that's happened a couple of times in comics, but most people remember it from Daredevil 181 when they're on the clothesline.
Right.
But yeah, and then when we get into the main story of it and these new characters, there's things comic fans will notice that certain characters are plucked from the Daredevil history. You got Heather Glenn, who was Daredevil's longtime girlfriend for a number, I think issue 126 into the Frank Miller run.
Okay.
Middle of the Frank Miller run, they broke up, and then eventually she was brought back by Denny O'Neil and killed off. She commits suicide. It's very sad. One of the tragic Daredevil girlfriends. Then you've also got Kirsten McDuffie, who's his law partner in this.
Right.
He's introduced in the 2011 Mark Waid Daredevil run in the first issue as an assistant DA who becomes a new love interest for Matt Murdock. And the two of them do end up starting a firm in San Francisco after Matt Murdock kind of outs himself. Is like, yeah, the rumors are true. I am Daredevil sort of thing. And he has to leave New York. They go to San Francisco. They run a law firm together there as Murdock McDuffie, exactly like the one that's in the show. But of course, that one was in San Francisco.
No, I don't mind talking spoilers in the first 2 or 3 episodes. I don't care. By this point, you should have watched it. If you haven't watched it, then get out of here. But we're going to talk with the first.
I didn't hit the major stuff. Like, I didn't say,
you know, the first episode was like 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, we all know what kind of happens there. And, well, Dan says something good. He says, as long as there's no She-Hulk appearances, we'll be good. So,
well, from what the showrunners say, it's kind of like that happened, but that's if Matt Murdock when he goes west, he's a different kind of guy. That's what they said. So
he wears a yellow costume and he has sex with giant green women.
Well, she wasn't giant and green when they had sex. So
no. Okay, maybe they weren't. Okay. Potentially
she was giant and green when she had sex with the other guy. And
that's right. That's
the guy
right.
she picks up on the dating app. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay. Yeah. It's been a while. I forgot that. And it's okay. I'm glad I forgot it because I did not like that series one bit. But that series actually pointed to me canceling my Disney Plus subscription. That's
really?
Yeah. I'm almost done now. And I have no longer a Disney Plus subscriber. So I'm watching Daredevil now on the Another Ways. That's all I'm going to say.
Another Ways. There you go.
Yeah. Until they earn my dollar back because I've seen too much garbage. But okay, so that's a huge Daredevil fan. Thumbs up. It seems like you seem positive about it, but I mean,
I'm positive about it because I do like this. Like again, like the White Tiger storyline in this is actually lifted right from the Brian Michael Bendis run from the early 2000s.
Right.
And it hits on a lot of things. The characters are the same way, but the one thing I really do like is that they're doing this duality of like Daredevil and Kingpin are going through the same kind of mental struggle, and that they believe like they're kind of two sides of the same coin. And so you're seeing these two guys who are, one is outwardly denying their true self, basically putting aside what they once did. And the other is trying to show that they're better than just their true self.
Right.
And, of course, with the run for the mayoral campaign and all that. And so we're seeing these two people struggling in their skin of trying to be like a new version of themselves. And well, especially for Matt Murdock, the old side of him, the side that likes to dole out justice, but really gets a kick out of the violence. He's there bubbling under the surface.
Interesting. Yeah. That scene where they're in the coffee shop there, I'm watching you. I'm going to watch you. You don't do what you're doing. That was a good little scene. And
that's the exact same coffee shop as the one from Daredevil season 2 when Elektra and Matt Murdock meet up.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, same booth and everything. Yeah.
You're deep diving because I don't remember that far back, man. But that's pretty good. So I'll tell you my opinion is so far, I'm really liking it. I wasn't sure what to expect. The CGI was a little bit. Yeah, in the first episode, on the rooftop.
But thankfully, it was quick, though.
It was. There wasn't tons of it. I wasn't sure about what was happening because last time we saw Bullseye, Kingpin took him and smashed him against the corner of a wall, which I assume broke his back.
Mm-hmm. And
the last time we saw Kingpin was an Echo, and they do mention Echo in this. In a roundabout way, they mention Echo. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, he was shot in the head by Echo. And
that was in the Hawkeye series. He was shot and basically it blinded him. Yeah.
Right. And, his wife kind of took over the empire. She alludes to that and he's been convalescing. So Now, maybe you can answer this question. Do Bullseye and Kingpin have like a healing factor? Can they? Because I never
No,
knew
okay.
that.
So at the end, his scene, like his last scene against the Kingpin in the Daredevil series, he gets his back broken. But there is a quick shot of him in the hospital. Now, comic readers will know that after Daredevil threw Bullseye off the clothesline in issue 181,
Right.
his spine was broken and he was in basically like he was stuck in a hospital bed for a number of issues.
Right.
And then suddenly there was a special situation where he met with a doctor who basically forged his spine with adamantium. So
Okay.
I think without them talking about it, they're kind of alluding to the fact that he now has a reinforced skeleton. That's why that's why there's a certain part where he gets back up like nothing's wrong. And for Kingpin, though, what they did is they took time and they really shortened it down. In the late 90s, just after Kevin Smith's Guardian Devil story, David Mack did a story which introduced the Echo character. And what happens at the end of the Hawkeye TV series happened at the end of that story arc. Okay. And it left Kingpin blind. Now in the comics, he remained blind for a number of years, like I think maybe about 2 years. And then doctors helped him get back his sight and everything. With this, they haven't really, all they did was just kind of show that he kind of got over it. If you see the Echo TV series, they show that he's gotten like a special attachment that he could now read sign language, but they've taken all that out. They're kind of ignoring certain elements of the Echo series while still acknowledging it.
What do you think of D'Onofrio's physically? He's obviously lost a lot of weight. They make reference to it, and he looks very thin in this and tall. Is that you don't care? Or,
I don't care because he's got the gravitas. Like he lives the character. He made it his own. Like he took a character that is very much like I'm just a big badass sort of guy. Like, look at me, I'm all muscly, but it looks kind of like fat and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And kind of gave him this weird kind of heart where it's sort of like, you're the bad guy. I don't 100% feel for you, but I get why you're this way. And it wasn't just the writing. It was very much his portrayal of that, which, yeah, I think D'Onofrio does a great job. I wouldn't want to see anybody else playing the role personally.
And he seems like a really nice guy. Have you met him before? Have you met him?
I unfortunately have not. No, the only person from the cast that I have met is Deborah Ann Wall.
You interviewed her, right?
I did, yeah. Basically when the first season of Daredevil came out, I got to interview her at the Four Seasons Hotel.
She nice?
She's very nice. Such a nice woman.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, I didn't really meet. I kind of met D'Onofrio in Montreal last year. He was signing, and I had a few guys going to get signatures, and we were witnessing it. But he's really good to the fans, and I like that. If people are good to the fans, you win me over because they're lining up for. And some people are not. They're just pricks. They're just not very nice people. But he was actually pretty kind to the people that were lining up, and I love that. Him and Ray Park was amazing too. I was so impressed with Ray Park. That the way he treated his fans was really nice, going above and beyond.
Yeah, that's very cool, man.
Yeah. What I love about the show too is, the whole idea of it's a rebuild, it's a reboot, kind of a soft reboot, and even the opening credits show. He's all crumbly and he's coming back together again, right? The statues being rebuilt.
And if you look at the things that are crumbling down, like it's the church, it's the city of New York, it's a number of things that represent when you think about Daredevil, and they're all coming together to form this Daredevil statue. So it's sort of like it's all the parts that make up Matt Murdock, who he is, coming together.
No, I do appreciate that. I do like that. And the fact we haven't seen him in a costume since that first flashback, this is the first episode.
Yeah.
I like that too. I the scene in the apartment when they're going to kill that guy and just love it. This was great.
No, it's great. It's because, that's the thing. Well, think about the greatest Daredevil comic story of all time is Born Again. Right. In that comic book, Matt Murdock is Matt Murdock throughout most of that series. He's Daredevil at the beginning and the end, but all the middle is just him being Matt Murdock. And they're kind of doing that here.
Did anything, okay, now, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll ask you a few questions about what's coming up. And if you haven't seen it yet, guys, it's worth a watch. If you checked out after, She-Hulk or checked out after, Agatha, which I did not watch, I just am done, not doing it. Okay. I'm not doing it. If you checked out like I did, you might want to check back in and check and give this a watch because it's different from the other MCU TV.
And it's also self-contained. You don't need to watch anything else to watch this.
No, it's quite good. My question to you, I got a couple of questions for those
Okay.
that are. We'll talk for a couple more minutes. I'll let you go. But I mean, does anything happen moving forward that you were like, like you were like it kind of was a downer for you? Like,
well,
you didn't like the choices.
It's not necessarily anything that happens in it. There's just one sort of thing, and I understand why they're doing this. But then if they prolong it, that makes me feel like they're avoiding it. And that is, in this, they've kind of had it that Matt is shying away from his religious side.
Yeah.
Which ever since the Frank Miller run has been a part of Matt Murdock, the Catholic guilt, right? In this, they're kind of, well, like even in the episodes you've seen, they've kind of shied away from it. Like he goes by that church and he waits and he doesn't go in. And then like he's listening to that Tom Waits song that's saying, I don't believe in an interventionist God, and all that sort of stuff. I feel like the Catholicism part is an intrinsic part of Matt. Like if you look at the original Netflix series, it's all over that, right?
Right.
In this, they shy away from it, and I'm hoping that by season 2, they reintroduce it. I hope this is not like a Disney thing. I'm hoping it's a story-based thing.
But in the first episode or second episode, he's having that little quick chat with the priest, and he kind of says, "See you around, Father," and he leaves. So he's turning his back on the
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like if they make that's a permanent thing. I don't think that's going to be good for the character personally.
It was a choice. They could have just had him not even talk or even show it.
True. Yeah. So it probably is storytelling based. Yeah.
Redemption, right? He's probably going to come back when he puts on. Well, I assume we're going to see him in costume at some point this season. Don't tell me when, but I'm sure we will.
Yeah, it isn't a spoiler to say he's going to be back in costume. Yeah. He'll be back in costume. Yes.
Yeah. And the red costume too, right? I don't care. Spoil it.
Yeah, it's the red costume.
And okay, here's the next question. We know Punisher's in this. We've seen clips of the Punisher in this. Any other cameos, MCU cameos?
There is a really odd MCU cameo that isn't another superhero or anything like that. It's a supporting character from another Marvel produced series.
Oh, TV series.
And it's sort of like, okay, that was an odd choice to put in there, but the episode itself is very good. So by the end of it, you're like, okay, cool.
So they were in the whole episode. They're an integral part of that.
They're in throughout the episode. Yeah, it's episode 5. Some stuff happens. It's almost a bottle episode. You know, like where it all takes place in one. Like you watch that episode on its own.
Which I like those types of episodes actually.
Yeah,
the little non-episodic. You just kind of throw them in there.
Yeah,
something to be said about that. I don't know. Do you prefer episodic? Do you prefer like the soap opera type thing, or do you prefer just
I prefer a serialized story, but an odd episodic one off the cuff is fine, as long as you don't like get too many episodic episodes and don't really wrap up your plots. So, but yeah, one here and there is good.
See, I like how Star Trek worked, Next Generation especially. I don't know how was that called episodic, where it would just kind of be like
that would be episodic because they were all self-contained stories. But the thing is, though, that's network television where you're syndicated in that sense, where they were making 26 episodes a year or 20, at least 22, right? When you're doing something that's 9 or 10 episodes,
I guess,
you can't do multiple episodic stories because then you're going to lose the plot. You need to have a serialized story when it's a shorter run series.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's something to be said about it. I like them both.
Yeah, they both have their, but it's like they need particular formats to work. You need a longer series to have a bunch of bottle episodes.
In a way, they could. Well, like if they're going to do 3 series, I heard they're doing another Hawkeye. I heard they're doing a Hawkeye season 2, for example, and they say they took like 3 or 4 different characters, like say, God help us, Agatha. Daredevil and Hawkeye, and instead of having them as individual episodes, just kind of make it like almost like that show they have, the What If cartoon, where every week it's a different character, and then it might come together at the end. They all kind of interconnect somehow.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun.
Right.
I'd like
or even do something like the old Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing, where it was the Thing and somebody else every
come on, from your lips to the ears of Kevin Feige, that would be, or Marvel team ups. That is what I've always said. That's what made Marvel to me. So and don't get me wrong, DC played around with that too, right? But
Mm.
Marvel, I don't know, something with Marvel, they just did it right. And I love Marvel Team Up. I love Marvel 2-in-1. You know, it was they just did it right. And even like with the Secret Wars, you know, and this Endgame thing where you have all the characters coming together in this huge event.
Yeah.
I know they did Crisis with DC and all that, but I don't know, Marvel, I don't know, maybe I'm just more biased.
Yeah, no, I get it. But here's the thing. That's the thing though. Like when they pulled that off with Endgame, it was kind of like, well, now you have to take a break from that for a bit because that was so well done. You know, and since then, you know, like when they had the phase that went after it, they tried a number of things like that.
Yeah.
It didn't come off as well. You had to break them up and tell a bit more focused stories instead of like just randomly shoving somebody else into somebody else's movie. And so now they're back at a place where I feel like they can start doing that again. But during the phase 4 and 5 was just sometimes people would show up in other people's stuff and be like, what? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I get my favorite one was for that was Ragnarok. I thought that, and even like Civil War was amazing too. I loved it. I just loved it.
Civil War was fun. Yeah, totally.
Bonkers amazingness, you know. Dan also agrees the Marvel Team Up, I guess. All right. So okay. Well, I guess the next question, and then I'll let you go soon, would be
okay.
Daredevil. I think it's a success. And we've talked at the cons when I see you for those quick little interludes there when I'm taking submissions, you're running around doing your interviews, and you seem to like you're a much more optimistic, accepting viewer of these things. You seem to enjoy this stuff.
Well, here's the thing: when you watch as much stuff as I do, believe me, there's stuff out there that's a lot worse than some of the things that people complain about. Because I watch like everything because I'm reviewing so much stuff. I also do a lot of like interviews with people where I'll watch their movie. I won't really like it. And I'll have to figure out what am I going to say to this person in the interview. And we end up having cool conversations about something that has no connection to their movie. And so when I look at stuff like this, I'm like, like I don't really it doesn't really set me off. Like I know like there's certain stuff from the Star Wars universe I know that you weren't a big fan of. And me, I was like, whatever, I don't care, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with this Daredevil, I can say, if you've been a fan of the original Daredevil series from Netflix, if you're a fan of Daredevil, the character, they stick the landing throughout this entire season with a great setup for season 2. So yeah, I can say without a doubt, I don't think anybody's going to walk away from going this. I hate it. I think they're all going to be like, this is what I've been waiting for.
The tone is they stick the landing with a tone.
Yeah, exactly. The tone stays dark enough. Like everybody was worried with Disney being involved that they were going to lighten the tone. Yeah. But no, you get some dark mode. Well, you even see at the end of episode 2 there with Matt going off.
Oh yeah. I tell you, like me and the wife were watching, and I don't think she was too interested in watching. Like even she was like, I'm done with this stuff. Right? My daughter checked out a year and a half ago. I'm dad. This stuff is not for me.
Yeah.
And we watched the first episode, and the first episode I was kind of like, okay. And then the second episode I thought was better, and the third episode I thought it just got better and better. So I'm liking the fact that they kind of figured out what they were doing, and now they're going somewhere. So I'm excited that you liked it. I'm excited that it's so far so good for me. Again, check that out, guys. Don't be like, I'm not going to watch it. Give it a shot. I think you're going to really like it.
And James Gandolfini's son is actually really good in his kind of like goofy kind of booster for Kingpin. Kind of reminds you of certain people who supported a orange-faced person south of us. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot he was in there. Yeah, it's a very so far it's a very understated character. He's just kind of like a nerdy kind of follower, kind of fan of Wilson Fisk, and he's becoming his. Does he become his right hand man? Maybe he does.
Well, I wouldn't say right hand man, but he continues to be important in the story. Yeah.
Will Daredevil be in any of these upcoming huge movies?
I don't know. There's a possibility it could be. I don't know if I was the showrunner of Daredevil, I'd be trying to keep him out of that stuff for the time being, just to focus on Daredevil, in my opinion. But
you know what? I agree with you on that. I think 100%. In fact, I would keep most of these TV series characters out of the movies.
Like the way that I'd like to see these TV series guys be used in a movie is that if it all builds up to a New York-based Spider-Man film where they all got to go at the Kingpin, then you'd have your team up with street level heroes. Maybe bring back Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and yeah, do something.
I heard there was talk of that too. So who knows, right? Who knows? All right. I think that's it. Well, hey, listen, Andrew, thanks for popping by.
No problem. Thank you for letting me talk about Daredevil, and hope everybody enjoyed it.
And where can they find you again if they want to check out Geek Hard?
Okay, so Geek Hard is live every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on realityradio101.com, but it's also available as a podcast with new episodes dropping Monday. I also host a comic book podcast where new episodes drop on Wednesday called Back Issue Bloodbath, where we talk about comics old and new. And you can find pretty much links to that in all our social media at geekhardshow.com.
All right, good. And I'll put your link down below in the information section as well too. If people want to find you, guys, Andrew is a wealth of knowledge. You can hear it when it comes to the movies, TVs, and the comic books. He reads voraciously. Is that a word? I think it is.
Voraciously.
That's what it is. And he's good at linguistics and language too. Obviously, correctly. If you want to stick around and watch the comics, you're more than welcome to. But you don't have to. You can take off.
You know what? I'm gonna stick around because I like seeing some cool comics as well.
All right.
So I'll just stick around in the background if you want, or I can stick around here.
Yeah, no, you can stay right there. We got just 2 boxes today, guys. It's a whole mishmash of modern, vintage. So a little something for everyone. Let's go to the comments here. See who's here. Everyone, we got Dan in the house. We said Kaylin's here, John's here, Trevor's here too, Derek's here. Everybody's here. The whole gang is here. Okay, we start off with a beaut, guys. We've got a whiz, look at this. A Wonder Woman from 1952, number 53, and a 7.0. I'll go to big screens. They can see this nice and big here. And we can still hear you, Andrew. If you want to pipe up, you're more than welcome to. So there you go. Look at that. She's a pretty one. And it's a bond. No, she's doing a lie detector test on this one, which is kind of cool. We've got a Journey into Fear from 1953 and a 4.5. Some great Golden Age covers. Right there. We got a Batman number 71 right here in a 5.0.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad. Slabs are all intact. We've got a Batman 59. Now this one here, this is always so confusing, even for collectors who buy these. This one here, as you can see, is published in Canada. So with these types of comics, oftentimes the cover will be the same as the American counterpart, but the inside story, or vice versa, it's always a mix-up, or it's the issue number is wrong compared to the American one. So there's a little bit, and I don't know how to value these. They don't, like, if you go to GP Analysis, I don't believe there's a separate section for publishing Canada comics. So it's kind of hard to put a price on these sometimes. But this is a really nice one too. Very, very nice. Some more Golden Age goodness here. Uncanny Tales. Some pre-code horrors here. Uncanny Tales number 1 from 1952. Chick's rising from the dead there with skeleton hands. Very cool. That's a Stan Lee story, actually. Check that out. Stan Lee story. Yeah, look at that. Stan Lee story.
Oh, look at that.
Pretty cool. Dick Ayers art. God, having a hard time talking at night now. I'm so damn tired all the time. All right. Haunt of Fear. This is the one that was from the thumbnail, I believe. Number 7. Came in art, Johnny Craig cover and art as well too, right there in a 7.0. Not a bad grade for a book of this vintage. I love this one here. And I'm sure you've seen this before, Andrew. Submariner number 7 and a 9.0.
So when you say number 7, like of the original series?
Yes. Yes,
wow.
It's 1968, this one here.
There you go. That's nice.
So that's about these books are usually in pretty rotten shape.
Now, was that Kirby on that?
That would be that would be John Buscema and Dan Adkins cover and art.
But that's a photo image behind the drawing, right?
Love
that was a thing that they were all kind of trying out during that time. I remember they'd start pasting the photos onto their like art boards and draw around that. Yeah.
Yes. It was really, really cool. And you see this, and like you said, this in a few different titles. I think there was a Spider-Man title they did that with, and probably most of the different titles. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll just go a little closer there. But generally speaking, these are oftentimes very tan because of the white background. So 9's a great. I think it's a fantastic grade. You don't.
No,
usually
it looks
see these
great. Yeah.
very beautiful one. There we go. Peter G has got a good point. He says he's referring back to the Batman book I showed. Are they listed at all on Canadian Price Variance website? I don't think so, Pete, because the Canadian Price Variance website tends to deal with modern books. It tends to deal with the CPVs from the early 80s up until like probably the early 90s, like 11, 12 year period. These published in Canada issues, and we also see like Wiz Comics, Captain Marvel comics were also published. They're Canadian counterparts, and the numbering's all different. It's all messy. I don't believe Angelo's website does talk about that, but you know what? You can certainly go to their website and ask that question, because that'd be something they could add, because it's hard to put a price on that. It really is. I don't think they're worth as much as the American counterpart. All right, more Silver Age goodness. This is a pretty popular one I've been seeing a lot lately. With anything with Doctor Doom right now, gee, I wonder why, is pretty hot. And here we go. Fantastic Four number 86, Doctor Doom appearance in a 6.5. Right there.
That's looking beautiful there.
Yeah, she's pretty. All right, and then we have again number 84 to go along with that one as well. They're not in any particular order. Right there. Again, Dr. Doomstorm got out of focus there. There we go. All right. And then we have a Tomb of Dracula number 2 in an 8.0. Just got to make sure the slabs are not damaged at all, because I only have so much time to have them replaced if there is problems. And then we have Tomb of Dracula number 4. An 8.0 there. Perhaps someone's putting a run of slabbed books together. Here's a key coming up right now. We've got a Werewolf by Night, but not actually. It's the first Werewolf by Night in Marvel Spotlight number 2. Right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. One of the books I had and got rid of, and I'm like, why did I get rid of that?
Was that Jack Russell? Was that? No, the character.
Yeah. Origin and first appearance of Werewolf by Night, Jack Russell. Right there.
There you go.
Right there. Yeah. Again, a book you don't see too often in a super high grade. It's usually chewed up, and it's a square bound book, so the square bounds always have those. They have those. Their drawbacks. In this case, you got a bit of a tear right about there at the bottom. Again, common with these books. And CGC is pretty forgiving with square bounds. They know they have those inherent problems. But anyways, nice one. And then what else we got here? We have a lot of silver and bronze in this one. We got
I see that Canada Connect Comics is saying that you need to buy their Spotlight number 2.
Canada Connect Comics. Where is he?
Bottom of the list.
Hello, all. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, I know. Come on. I can't spend any more money, man. I'm done. Haven't bought forever. We were talking about it, Warren. That's Warren. He's got a really nice. What grade's yours, Warren? I forget, but it was a nice grade. I was on the fence. I almost pulled the trigger. No, stop it. Because you know what happens, Andrew? I buy them and they get put in a box and they get put away somewhere. Mm-hmm. As you can see behind me, the ugly background that I have and I want to change it. I keep saying this, but these machines are about 350 pounds each.
Right.
I'm on the top level here. So for these to go downstairs, yeah, these aren't working anymore like they used to. So last time I moved a press, I moved a press with my father-in-law once. I bought it from Ottawa. I brought the thing back. It was a dry tack press. It was one with the big crank on the top. That thing weighed about 350. Me and Ralph are lifting this thing up. He pulled the muscle, and I probably pulled something too.
Yeah, just thinking about it, like as I remember Ralph, the two of you guys, you guys aren't big muscle men, so you guys probably killed yourselves. Yeah,
right. But you met my other friend Paul Frawley, the teacher, the big guy.
I don't think so. No.
Paul helped me bring one of these up, and we got hurt. Like he could probably lift one by himself. He's like 6'3", big dude.
Right.
But I helped him, and I remember I hurt my arm, and it took like 6 months for that pain to go away. I'm not doing this anymore. I got to hire somebody. So
definitely hire somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm going to. The problem is though, I get worried they're going to move it out. They're going to damage the stairs or whatever. I got to find the right time, but they're leaving. In fact, I might have a couple of big presses for sale because I don't need these. I got 2 more of these at the shop. I don't think I need those 2. So if anybody wants to buy a big press, you can press like probably 6 to 9 books at one time. Give me a holler. Anyways, 8.5 Ghost Rider. Sorry, Marvel Spotlight number 6. This is not the Ghost Rider series. This is for Marvel Spotlight. This would be his second appearance because he first appeared in Marvel Spotlight number 5. I'll go to the big screen so everyone can see a nice shot of it right there. Okay, and then we have. And again, these Marvel horror books and even the DC horror books from the 70s are really taking off. Here's a pretty one. Werewolf by Night, Marvel Spotlight number 3, right there in a 9.0.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. More. Silver Age. Goodness. Wait, did we do that one already? We did that one already. Okay, we've got a Journey into Mystery with Thor. If you're any Thor fans out there, we have Journey into Mystery 111, 111. Mr. Hyde appearance, Stan Lee story, Jack Kirby art. Here we go. And a 7.0. And that's from 1964. Not bad. And then we got a number 88, Journey into Mystery, second appearance of Loki.
Oh,
not bad. And a 5.0. This book looks nice for 5.0. It's actually it's all there, It's amazing the book has survived all these years, man. 63. And then we have a modern book. We've got a Absolute Superman Lee sketch cover number 1. It came back in 9.4. I think me and Andrew looked at this one before the show started. And I'm like, why did it only get a 9.4? The front looks really nice, but then I looked at the back and the bottom. There is a little scuff mark down here and another scuff mark over here. So the book looks fantastic. But again, guys, the modern inks are not as forgiving as, believe it or not, they're not as forgiving as these guys. These guys really
modern all black pages. I find that those tend to scuff pretty easy. Yeah.
And yeah, even when they're shipped in a box, they're packed together and they're shifting, they're shifting a little bit. You're going to lose grades on that. You're not going to get your 9.8. You're not going to get your 9.8. It has to be clean. I mean, you can have a little bit, but if you've got like a little chunk of scuffing by the staple, you're getting a 9.6, 9.4, 9.2, depending on how extensive it is. But they're very, very hard. But, you look at a book like this one, and we looked at this one as well, and I love this book. Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man number 1 and a 9.8. Love this book. Love it, love it. This paper, don't scuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I want to scuff it, I can scuff it. But if we were to put this book through the same treatment that one of the Absolute Superman went through, this one would come out the winner. It would the paper was far more durable than that. The new paper might look fancy and feel fancy, but the inks are just not as color fast and as strong as these. So, anyways, great copy here. Every time I see this, I get jealous. This book, I want to get
the tarantula. He's such a goofball, but he's one of those goofball characters that you can't help but like.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's not his first appearance. His first appearance was in ASM number 120 something, if I remember correctly, or 130 something.
Right.
It was 130. Somebody out there will know. First appearance of the tarantula. I know he's kind of it's corny. You're not going to walk around with shoes like that. You get made fun of for sure. But you know what? He has a kind of that Venom thing going on there, right? The early Venom, kind of the
the stretching logo out of the image. Yeah, totally.
Todd McFarlane totally ripped that off when he did Venom.
134.
There you go.
Bad Hombre came with the 134. There you go.
Close. I said 120s, 130. So that's the first appearance. And Kalen agrees. He also needs a first Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. Okay, these are already done. Let's keep going. People are still asking about their vintage books. Avi contacted me tonight and said, "Hey, where are my books?" I said, "Listen, dude, all your books are back except for the vintage. Unfortunately, some guys, and I think Bad Hombre, you're one of them. Before I went over to the fast track service, a handful of the last of the vintage books went out, and unfortunately, Avi's books were on that too. And like you all know, and I've said it before, CGC went from a 40 business day turnaround time in like November to 115. So the books that were going to be back in a month and a half are back in 6 months. So unfortunately, Bad Hombre, yours I think are falling under that category, as did Avi's, and probably a couple other guys, but a lot of the ones from September, October are coming back now. So they are starting to move through. All right, here we go. We got this one here. Ever seen this one before? Andrew?
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
that's from the Daniel Way. There's a writer that I really enjoyed at first, but just kind of eventually lost the plot. And it was during the Wolverine Origins that it was like, okay. It's like his earlier issues of Wolverine Origins. I was like, okay, I like what you're doing here.
Right.
And then slowly it's like, how many Wolverine kids can I introduce? And what can I do here? And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, enough's enough, right?
But yeah, somebody, I believe it was Dan on Moray mentioned that the first appearance of Tarantula was also the Punisher's second appearance. And I do remember that. Yeah.
Right. At the very beginning, right?
Yeah, they have like a big fight on top of a boat, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
And this is back when Punisher's using his stun bullets because he doesn't kill anybody. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it, right?
Yeah.
This one here, as you know, is the variant copy. The 3. This is the 3, right? Yeah, the 3 claw, the 1 claw coming through the wrist.
Yeah.
This is the variant. This is the more valuable. There's another one where it's just the 2 on the one side, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. This is one of the first books, not this actual copy, but this is one of the first books I ever pressed for a client, I remember.
Really?
It's 2007. Yeah. I had a client. I think he's still involved in comics, but he's kind of gotten, he's not as prominent as he once was. He brought me like 4 or 5 copies. He was testing me out. He brought me 4 or 5 copies of this. We cracked them and we redid them and pressed them. They all came back quite good. I remember that because these are some of the first modern books that I did.
Right.
Yeah, they're a bit of a challenge, modern books, I tell you. All right, we got some more moderns. We got a Wolverine number 36. Now, yeah, this stuff I have no idea about. You may know this stuff, Andrew, but I have no clue. I just look at that.
Yeah, I didn't end up reading that. No.
Yeah, no idea.
During the whole Fall of X time, I kind of was avoiding the X books because there was just so much going on. Sometimes it's like I avoid certain runs of comics just because there's just far too much to read. So
too much comics to read, or too much going on in the book?
Too much comics to read. So
gotcha.
The X books were like really packing up again during the Fall of X. So because I think that was like ending the Hickman era type on Krakoa and all that, and then going into now where they are right now. So
right. Here's one for you.
Oh my God.
Pretty big book, I think. Hansi number, what is it? Number, or is there no number? 39-cent and 49-cent copies exist from 1976. This is a pretty popular book. I think it's pretty valuable book. This is one of the vintage ones that I think we were waiting for. Yeah, this was submitted at Fan Expo. I remember.
Really?
I came to Fan Expo and submitted this one. Yeah. Anybody know about this sucker guy? Anybody want to give us any details on the Hansi book? This I know this is a bit. Obviously the Nazi stuff can be quite collectible. Some guys really like that. World War II stuff. Anyways, the girl who loved the swastika.
Yeah, that's quite the title.
Quite the title. But that was one order I know we've been waiting for to come back. Then, of course, we can't have an unboxing, Andrew, without probably the most common book we see every week, Amazing Spider-Man 300.
People love it. It's quite a popular book. Todd McFarlane. And yeah, it's like for that book there, that's the one of, in my opinion, people might disagree with me on that. There's only 2 good like Venom stories. The first Venom story here, and then the second Venom story. After that, every Venom story after that, not a fan of.
No. I remember getting this book and seeing Mary Jane cowering. And,
yeah.
It was pretty remarkable, right? It was terrifying. It was a pretty heavy, being kidnapped and sadistically not tortured, but threatened. It was pretty intense. you know, for a Spider-Man book at that time. So, you know, pretty awesome.
Right. Somebody's asked me if the Rob the Robot actually works. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked for quite a long time, but I very much enjoy having Rob the Robot around. Part of my childhood. So.
What vintage is that? That'd be late 80s?
No, like
early 90s?
84. Came with the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so, like, when you played Gyromite, Rob could actually play it with you and actually open the the things.
Kalen also asks you, have you been reading Ultimate Spider-Man by Hickman?
I read the first issue and I enjoyed it, but I haven't caught up with it since then.
Okay. Oh, here we go. No,
1985. That makes sense.
There we go. It came with the original NES bundle. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I was 6, so that would have been a year after it came out. They were still selling.
I remember Robbie the Robot, but it was after my childhood, so I just kind of, you know, wasn't my thing. But
yeah.
But then we got some information on the Hansi book. Mike says, and that Hansi book was a Christian published book. I used to have a 9.6 copy. It's a big dollar book, right? I believe it's a big dollar book. In a 9.6, I can imagine it's quite valuable. All right, what else? We got a few more moderns here. We're almost done. Box number 1 of 2. We have got a Sandman number 8. First appearance of Death in a 9.6. We have a Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not seeing this one so much anymore. When that Dungeons and Dragons movie was coming out with Chris Pine, we started seeing a lot.
Right.
Guys always, you know, speculating. This one came back in 9.0. Right there. Then we got, of course, Something is Killing the Children Archive Edition number 1. And that is in a 9.8. Right there. Haven't read that. Have you read this one?
I unfortunately haven't, but James Tynion is he's the writer on it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, James Tynion, he writes a book that's coming out like it was probably my favorite book of last year, and issue 9 is coming out this week called The Deviant. And that's a really good book. It's a serial killer book.
The Deviant?
Yeah. It's got the same kind of like when I looked at that cover, Something's Killed the Children, it automatically made me think of The Deviant. So, yeah.
Well, I always like to start or end each box, if at all possible, with a 9.8. We didn't start this one with a 9.8, but we're going to finish this box with a 9.8. We got an absolute Wonder Woman number 1. So this Lee sketch variant came back at 9.8. So the Superman came back at 9.4. This one came back at 9.8. Unfortunately, you know what that means, Andrew? It means the owner is going to say, damn it, I got to go find a 9.8 for my Superman now to match this. It's always the way it goes because most comic book collectors are OCD. And that's okay if you are. You just like things uniform. You want things to be the way you like them. And a 9.4 next to a 9.8 might drive some people a little.
Might drive them batty. Totally. I get it.
Yeah. So that's box number 1. Oh, I think box number 2 is mostly moderns, I think. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Well, we start off. Well, okay. I like to start with 9.8s. Here we go again. 9.8 copy Wolverine.
All new Wolverine?
Yeah, all new Wolverine number 1, hip hop variant cover, DMX's Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood album cover homage. Grant variant cover in a 9.8. I don't know what that is because I just don't buy modern books. I just don't. Put that over there. And then we got a Thanos number 13.
So you say Thanos, eh?
Thanos.
See, I've always said Thanos, and suddenly all these people are saying Thanos, and I'm like, I thought it was Thanos.
Thanos. I don't know. Thanos. How did Chris Hemsworth say it? He said it really weird. Thanos.
Yeah. He kind of made it all sound like O's, yeah.
Like very Shakespearean. No, yeah. Thanos. Yeah. Thanos. I don't know. Whatever. Tomato, man.
Yeah. To each their own.
That's right. A 9.8. You can say whatever the hell you want. The 9.8. It's all good. These modern books, again, the 9.8 is very important.
Right.
We got an old X-Men book. Nice copy. This one's come back and it says there's a tear seal and it says that the bottom edge is trimmed. So who knows? You know, nice, clean, bright book at a 9.0. Apparently there's a tear seal somewhere and it's saying that the bottom edge is trimmed. And I don't know. I see some white at the bottom corner there, you can see some. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right about, right there. See that white, kind of the white at the edge there?
Yeah.
They're assuming that's been trimmed. Now that said, we've taken books like this and resent them in. They've come back blue labels. So again, oftentimes when it comes to restoration, it's the eye of the beholder, like what the grader thinks. I mean, and like I've said many times on this show and even in person, if a grader thinks it's suspicious that something is wrong with the book, they're going to err on that side of caution, and they're going to give that book a purple or green label because they feel they should. And there's no contesting it, right? You can contest it. Sorry, you can email them and do the whole thing. And if they ask you to send the book back, it's on your dime. And if they fix it, oftentimes they'll want you to pay to have it regraded again. But is that fair? I don't know, but that's just the way CGC is. So I think they do that because they don't want everybody sending their books back thinking, oh, it'll just get fixed. They'll fix it the second time. Well, we'll do it, but you got to pay again. So that's the thing, right? Another thing, Thanos. Another Thanos in a 9.8. I won't show it again. There it is right there in a 9.8. Another one. That's the second one.
It is.
And then we have a 9. Oh, another great book. First book I ever bought from Unicorn Comics back in 1985. Web of Spider-Man.
Oh, Web of Spider-Man.
Yeah, beautiful cover. Love it. Got to go big on this one because it's just a great. Love it. I just thought that was the coolest cover. Adam takes me to Unicorn Comics in September of '85, and this is the first book I see there, and it's the one I grabbed it. I grabbed this, and I think I grabbed the first 5 issues of Web of Spider-Man #1, and I was hooked.
There you go.
Yeah, got a Darth Vader #3, first appearance of Dr. Aphra, 9.8. Okay. Are you excited for the Andor series?
My co-host on Geek Hard very much is. Unfortunately I only watched the first 4 episodes of the first season, not because I didn't like it. It's just there's just so many things I got to watch. So I'm gonna have to watch the rest of the first season before I watch the second season. I think I'm gonna have to do that soon because I think my co-host wants to review it on the show. So
yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to then maybe, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. That was one of my favorite Star Wars items. You got a 9.8 copy of Silk #1 right there. And then we got a Star Sapphire book and Superman 261. Ooh, this belongs to, oh my gosh, Mike, I think. Another Mike. Got so many Mikes. Star Sapphire appearance in a 7.5. That's a pretty copy, actually, too. Thought this might get a little higher than a 7.5. It's pretty sharp looking. It's got a little bit of staining on the back here along the spine. That's probably why. Now, this probably would have been a good contender again for our light therapy treatment. But again, is it worth it? Is this book worth the effort? I don't know. That's the thing. You have to kind of know what the books are worth to go ahead and do that. It is more of an expense, obviously. Then we have a Star Wars Darth Vader #23, signed by D. Bradley Baker. Spouse variant cover. And a 9.6. Did you watch these guys? The set. What do you call it? What the hell is those guys called?
Those guys.
What the hell is that called? That cartoon. With the clone troopers that could all think for themselves.
Oh, Clone Wars?
Yeah, it was from the Clone War, but these.
Oh, Rebels? What?
No, it was.
Give me more. Oh, okay, I know which one you're talking about now.
Crew or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but Bad Batch. There we go. Thank you. The comments there.
Thanks, Kayla. I totally forgot, man. Like,
I watched the first season of the Bad Batch. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah,
so did I. But then I didn't go back. I didn't go back to #2. I
like. There's some things that unless I'm reviewing it half the time, I just don't have the time to go back.
I got you. 9.4 Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke. That's probably. Here's the thing. I'm not the hugest Joker guy, but right. that issue, that's the definitive Joker to me.
Totally. That hombre says regards to Superman. Well, that Superman was not worth grading, so I would say worth the light therapy. So yeah, you again, the light therapy is one of those things. It costs, to do light therapy on one cover at 40 and 60 for back and front if it needs it. If it bumps it from a 7.5 to a 9, then yeah, all of a sudden, it might be worth it. Again, you have to see what a 9.0 is worth, right?
What exactly does the light therapy do?
A light therapy, well, there's two different services we offer. It's the color deacidification, where she takes the cover off the book and she actually basically washes the cover very gently, and she takes all the acids out of the paper, reintroducing humidity to the paper. It actually strengthens the paper, but in doing so, it lightens the paper, and it also usually removes any staining, tide lines, things like that. It goes away. The damage that was on that Superman book, though, was more like foxing, and deacidification does help with foxing, but what really does work with foxing nicely is it's a B-lead treatment. It's a special UV treatment where you expose the paper to special lights for several hours in many cases to basically brighten the page and to eliminate any staining. So, but again, it's more cost. So, you pay for that, then you got to pay for the pressing and the grading. It cost you $300. If the book's only worth $150, even in the grade you get, then what was the purpose? So it's got to be really worth it. You got to really know the values of your books, and yeah. And a lot of guys will come to the shop on a Saturday. Are these worth it? I mean, I can tell people usually what kind of grade they can expect, or if we can help them, but I don't know the values of all the books. I mean, geez, ASM 300, sure. I mean, everyone knows the values of those books, or something like this, like a First Gambit, easy. Yeah. But when it comes to more older books, oftentimes, unless the books get like a 9.2 or a 9.4, it oftentimes is not worth doing. And then it goes to that whole thing with, me and Bad Hombre have talked about this before. Why are you grading the book? Are you grading it because you want to sell it? You want to turn a profit? Or are you just grading because it's your dad's book and he left it to you? It's sentimental, or it's the first book you ever bought. I mean, I always refer back to one guy came to see me once in the old shop, and he brought me a beat up, red, ripped up, terrible copy of Wolverine #1 from 1988, first patch,
Yeah.
And book was probably worth $5, maybe $3. It was so bad.
It was that bad, eh?
It was bad. It was like really imagine kind of crushing it and then flattening it out on your chest. It was bad. And he graded it because his brother gave him that book. It was the first comic he ever was given. His brother to me, I don't give a shit what the grade is. It's my brother's book that he gave to me that got me into comics. So he got a grade. So there's that kind of person too. So you can't, everybody's doing it for their own reasons. So, if you're strictly in it for the business and you want to make money on it, you really got to know the values of your book before you even think about even grading it, never mind pressing it or all the other stuff. So just having a good understanding of values is very, very important. It's very expensive, man. The bills can really add up. First Gambit, pretty hot.
Yeah, wasn't there like an annual that came out of that time, Days of Future Present, that also has that Gambit character in the background? There's people that fight over which one is the true first appearance of Gambit.
Yeah,
it came out roughly the same month or something like that.
Yeah, Franklin Richards is on that cover, I think.
Yeah.
In the middle, right? Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's New Mutants. Is it New Mutants or is it X-Men Annual 14 or something like that?
Yeah, it's an X-Men Annual. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 14, I think. Am I wrong, guys? I'm sure Kalen will correct me there. He knows all that stuff. But another big one here, obviously, Hulk 340.
Yep, that's during the whole.
There we go.
X-Men Annual 14. There you go.
Yep, there it is.
But the Hulk 340, that's when Hulk did the whole only at night, banners in the daytime type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Two of them. Then we got, and then these reprints are starting to really go up in value. I won't take, we got 3 of them here, so we'll just kind of go quickly. 3 Amazing Fantasy 15 reprints in 9/8.
There you go.
They're a couple of bucks now too, which is kind of cool. And these are perfect reprints. Even the back, even the ads are all the same. So it's a pretty cool reprint to have. It's a true, cool. Yeah. So,
is it like a facsimile edition? Is that?
Yeah, it's exactly it. The facsimile edition number 15.
Yeah, those have become really popular. Like I was at the Toronto Comic-Con, and there was so many people that had at their booths a whole section of the facsimile books for sale.
Yeah, you got Hulk 181. You can get a Batman
Amazing
181.
Spider-Man 129. Yeah,
all the big ones. Giant size X-Men ones is there as well.
Yeah.
I think Mike, who was on here earlier, he gave me a couple as a gift. He gave me which one did he give me now? He gave me a Chromium. He gave me an ASM 300 Chromium facsimile, and he gave me, I think, a Batman Chromium #1. It was pretty cool. They all came back 98. They're in my collection. God knows, somewhere over there somewhere, some of those books. But it's cool. I mean, again, they're just, you go buy the real one for $20 billion or get a facsimile.
Well, yeah, I know one guy I know who's also named Kevin, actually, who has a spinner rack at home, and he gets the facsimile books to display on his spinner rack. Yeah,
for sure. Look great. That's the way to do it, right? You might as well.
Yeah.
Spinner racks, man. I got the one at the shop there. I got, Hey Kids comics.
It's comics, yeah.
I got that for so cheap. I was
really?
I was looking for one, and looking on Marketplace, one popped up, and a guy was over by Rob's place off of Park Road, Nashua.
Okay. Yeah.
Go there, and this is like going back probably 7-8 years ago. It was over here originally, but anyways, $150. I walked in, and he's like, "Oh, it was my wife's. She was a librarian, and it's been in her library at school for like 30 years, and there was no rust on it. It was in good shape. Sold."
That's
and
great,
like
man.
$700. Those things, like people.
Yeah, no, people pay a pretty penny to get those. Yeah.
Shape. Here's a pretty important book, Akira #1 from 1988, and a 9.8.
Pretty cool.
There. And we got a Batgirl #23. Variant cover. Awesome cover. And a 9.8 as well. You see, now Andrew, you say, "Oh, I want that one. I want that one." Right? That's the problem.
No, here's the thing, man. I came and visited you, like just over a year and a bit. January 2024, I came by the shop.
Yeah.
And I bought a few books. And I had told you at the time that I was just trades now. I didn't have any issues. I've now gone to a bunch of shows and I'm buying single issues again. I blame you.
It's an addiction. And then, and everybody a lot of these guys come to the shop, it's an addiction. The special covers, you just whatever. And you bought Daredevil books, remember? 181.
Yeah, I bought Daredevil and X-Men books. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of which was Daredevil 181, which I brought up several times tonight. So
to find them in good shape, and it's all right. But yeah, no, I'm the same. But if you see something like this at the store, and you go out and grab it, like a old Batman book. I had a copy of this once. Again, I sold one of the. Mine was about a 4. I think this is a 2.0, and this is a 2.0. Big chunk out of there, and it still came back at 2.0. I think a little bit more, it would have been a 1.8. Because my Amazing Fantasy 15, I'm missing it's got a lot of Marvel chipping, really thick down the edge there, and it's a 1.8. But it's in physically better shape than this, though. My Spider-Man book looks better than this, but this is a 2.0 because there's less missing than on my comic book. Anyways, Joker appearance. Is that the first? No, just Joker cover and art. 1946. 1946, crazy. And here's another one of those Canadian books. Got an Action Comics. Number 119, Canadian edition from 1948. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Studebaker or whatever kind of car that might be. Then we got a Black Terror #16 from 1946 as well. That's a great book. 1945. That's a pretty good one as well, I believe.
Yeah.
See, I don't know the values of this Golden Age stuff as much as I should, but not bad. And guys, you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button. Please, it does help the analytics here at YouTube. And if you're new here, hit that bloody subscribe button. Usually I talk more to the audience, and it's Andrew's fault. So
my fault. It's all my fault, for God's sake.
I'm going to blame him. And of course, if you want to.
I've been pointing out some of the things people have been saying. What the hell, man? Jeez.
That's true. I do appreciate that. 9.8 Ghost Rider right there. Second printing, first appearance of Dan Ketch as Ghost Rider.
Danny Ketch.
There you go. All right. We got this is cool. Batgirl #40. And what is it? What kind of homage is this? Do you know?
Oh, that's on Prince.
Prince Purple Rain right there.
Purple Rain, yeah.
And 9.8. Very cool.
John Sherwood said in the I like the old Marvel Tales reprints. Yeah, no, actually, when I was younger, that's how I cut up on a lot of my Spider-Man, was reading the Marvel Tales off the getting them off the 7-Eleven racks and whatnot.
Yeah. And some of those got pretty pricey too at some point. I remember the reprint of The Death of Gwen Stacy was a popular one. And even the first Punisher one in a 9.8 is probably worth $400 or $500.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's a reprint,
Yeah.
Not bad. What was I going to say about that? Oh, talking about how you got caught up on the Marvel Tales. What I got caught when I jumped in with the Unicorn Comics with my first Web of Spider-Man, they were just putting out Marvel Saga at that time.
Oh.
So what I did is I bought the Marvel Saga books, and they're not the same obviously as Marvel Tales. Marvel Tales reprinted actual stories.
Yeah.
Marvel Saga kind of said, well, in New York City at this time, young Peter Parker, and then they do like kind of a really brief synopsis of his origin story. And then, well, over in Mongolia, Tony Stark was captured by, and then he did his origin story and the Fantastic Four. And it kind of did it chronologically. It kind of reprinted parts from the stories, but it kind of amalgamated it into a timeline. That kind of helped me as a kid. And then I got rid of those.
Yeah, see, for me, it was Marvel Tales and Classic X-Men. Those helped me catch up on older stories from the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, even the Classic X-Men, some of those are worth a bit of bucks too. Superman with Batman, number 76. Batman appearance. Superman and Batman learn each other's secret identities in this issue right here.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Pretty cool. And a 7.0 from 1952. And Kalen does make a good point here, and I do know this. He says that there are Marvel Tales that Todd McFarlane did the cover for is valuable as it's the only time Todd drew Doc Ock.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's right. So you'll find some Marvel Tales books with some original art by Todd McFarlane, which again makes them more collectible.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Yeah, Marvel Tales and Classic X-Men, they wouldn't usually reprint the original cover. They'd do a new cover for it. Yeah.
Or it was a very close.
Or it was very close. Yeah, I think the first Marvel Tales was just reprinting the covers, but then eventually they started having new covers made. Yeah,
which was awesome. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I think Classic X-Men, they always did a new cover, but yeah, with Marvel Tales, it started off with the reprints of the covers. Yeah.
Well, that's why I like the Marvel Tales of the reprint of the Punisher, because it's the exact same cover, but it's in red.
Right. Yeah, it is in red. Yeah, and it says Marvel Tales across the top.
Yeah. It's exactly the same. So if you have both side by side, it's cool that the yellow. See, I'm a big kind of goof that way. I like to have the different colors,
Yeah.
Even the statues. I had that red Hulk at my shop. It's gone now. Ben bought it, but there's 3 different versions of that statue: the red Hulk, green Hulk, and gray Hulk. And for the longest time, I'm like, well, I got to buy the other 2. I got the red, I got the green, I got to have, but the boxes are like the size of this screen.
Yeah.
And just sell the green, sell the red one, and don't worry about it. Just don't get any of them. Don't have any of them because they're too damn big. Oh, I didn't show this one. X-Men 141. Love it.
Oh, love that issue. Days of Future Past.
You got it.
And that's such an iconic cover. So many people have done homages to that cover over the years.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty one. Very pretty. What else? Is that it? I might have 1 or 2 more. Let's see. I think that might. Oh wait. Oh, I think that might be it. Facsimile. Did those? Did that? Did this? Did that? We are done.
There you go.
2 boxes. Finito Benito. Finito Benito. That's it.
Good stuff.
Tuesday night. Another one in the bag, guys. If you are, if these are your books, just relax. Please relax and be patient. I know you've been patient thus far, but I will probably process these, sort these out over the next day or so, and then I'll contact you hopefully by Thursday to make an appointment to come pick them up at my shop on a Saturday. Or if you want me to ship them to you, I'll put them in my outgoing folder and I'll ship them. I'll do another shipping day probably next week. I did a shipping day last week. I mean, again, if you are, other side of the country, or you are even in Toronto and you want me to ship them to you, no problem. But I do shipping days every other week usually. I don't do it weekly. Again, this room you see right here, big presses, it's also my shipping room. So I don't have a dedicated shipping room. And so when I do shipping, this whole place has bubble wrap everywhere and peanuts flying from the ceiling. It becomes a big mess. So I don't do that every week. I do it every other week. So that's that. If you are local, Toronto, GTA, best to come pick up your books anyways. But again, if you want me to ship them, next week will be another shipping day. I'm at the shop this Saturday again from 11 until 2 and we're getting a lot of books at the shop every week. Last week, a bunch more came in. So if you want to come by the shop on Saturday, you can do so to do a pre-screen. It'll be pretty quick pre-screen, but nonetheless, we can do that for you. And then in the summertime, we'll probably start offering 1 day a week where you can come in during the week by appointment to submit books as well too. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it, man. What is Peter G saying? DC has done Golden Age size of action. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes, they have. And Batman and Detective Comics, all of them. And John Sherwood says Marvel Tales Annual 1 and 2 predates the Golden Record reprints. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, some of these reprints can fetch a pretty penny, you know. So again, it's always condition is very important for sure. So you want to keep that in mind. Andrew, thanks again for popping by.
Oh, well, it's been a lot of fun. I got to see a bunch of cool comic books, and
yeah,
I got to confront you about the fact that you've got me addicted to comics again.
I do apologize. Listen, I should have warned you. I think John Sherwood, it was John and his brother Pat during COVID came to my original shop there, and they came in with a box, and they said, this is our collection from when we were kids. We want to grade them. I said, get out. Don't do this. It's not going to be one book. It's not going to be 10 books. It's going to be hundreds of books. And I think John can attest to the fact that I said that to him. I warned him, but he did not heed my warning. He kept coming, and he still comes in with great books. So yeah, it definitely, you know, collecting is one thing, but getting into the grading is even another.
I know, I get you. Yeah, now I can't make that leap because I know that I do not have that money to burn. So
it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
And again, I think grading, you know, some guys do, they want to decorate their rooms. It looks kind of nice when they're all slabbed up. For me, it's more of a value thing. So if I kick the bucket tomorrow and my family sees these books, they can check the values of them and not take them to a comic store and get pennies in the dollar. You know, they can
right.
check the values of them. That's kind of what it was for me. But I've got some pretty good sized books. So they're pretty nice books. And you know, so aside from putting them on display or doing that, you know, yeah, you got to be really, really conscientious to why you're doing it. You know, and of course, like anything else, you don't spend money you don't have, right? If you're going to go to the casino and drop 10 grand, make sure you got a lot more in the bank to cover
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but it can get very, very expensive. I wish I got some bangers in 9.8. Oh, what did he say? Oh, sorry. No, I missed that. 2.2. Where'd it go? Oh, there.
Right above. I
wish I got some bangers in the 9.8 range. You always get bangers in the 9.8 range, don't you? Bad Armor's got a great eye. He can find those 9.8s. Let me tell you. We saw that one. Lewis says, awesome Bad Hombre. Mike says, most likely CG will not do it. Too niche.
Oh, they're talking about the CGC. Will they ever grade treasury size books?
Oh. No. Okay, I'll tell you guys, but this is very, very. Okay. All I'm going to say is this. I've been talking to somebody. How do I say too much? Because nothing might come of this, so I don't want to.
So if at any point you guys see a red dot appear on his forehead, he's about to get whacked for what he's about to say.
Yeah. I've been talking to somebody about grading books and whatever, and it came up. You know, well, why don't they do gold? You know, these Treasury edition books. They should offer Treasury edition, and CBCS does offer grading of Treasury edition, but they don't have a slab. They put them in a giant Mylar and they put a little sticker with a grade on it. Why? I can tell you why, because the person I was talking to owns a grading company, and I can tell you that to have a slab made, like from scratch, like to actually get the mold made, costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. Right, thousands upon thousands, and the mold itself, to the stainless steel mold, to actually have you do like plastic injection molding, that mold costs like $25,000. So it's not like, yeah, let's make it. How many Treasury edition books are out there? How many people really want to get them graded? Would they see a return on that? And honestly, I think the way CBCS is doing it, while we all want the big, thick, nice plastic holder, they ain't going to do it. There's no way. There's no way. There's not enough out there or demand for it. It's the same reason why you're not going to see CGC or CBCS or PSA for that matter come to Canada and start offering grading on site in Canada. Ain't going to happen. Why? Because California is bigger than Canada. There's more population in California than there is here. They're not going to bother. They want to inconvenience all of us and make us send our books down south. That's all there is to it, you know? So, you know, but yeah, you know, would a Treasury edition look? I saw a boxed Millennium Falcon toy from 1978 encapsulated in a custom-made box by AFA, the Action Figure Authority. They're like CGC for toys, right?
Wow.
And they custom make boxes for toys. So all toys are different shapes and sizes, right? I showed off my Thundercat figure. It's like this friggin' big. It's massive, and it's a custom-made acrylic case. So they do custom jobs, but yeah, you know, I guess they could do custom jobs for the treasuries, but I think it'd be just too cost prohibitive.
It'd be a lot of work. Yeah, no,
yeah,
totally.
for sure.
John Sherwood wrote in basically about how you warned him, said that you should have listened.
You should have. Would have saved you thousands upon thousands of dollars. But you didn't listen to me, John. You should have listened.
Well, following up by saying I love the hobby. That's why, you know, that's
Yeah.
why they don't listen. That's why, you know, you love the hobby. You can't help it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, why did I showed you guys my Micronaut toys I bought the other day? Why did I go and drop $250 on Micronaut toys that are in a bag somewhere, put in my closet? They're not even on display. Like at least Andrew displays his Robbie the Robot or whatever, and you know, I'll be presses back there.
Well, like that Daredevil 181, it isn't CGC, but it is displayed on my wall. I have comic holders on my wall. Yeah.
And that's all you need to do. You don't have to get them graded, right? Bad Hombre says it right there. It's a disease. Hook it to my veins. You know, I say this seriously. When I meet the wives of men that come in, like the other day, a guy came in and bought 6 Star Wars action figures from me from Toronto. He came in and he bought like about 6 of them, and his wife was there, kind of like perplexed, looking at him, choosing like a little kid. He's like, that one, and that one, and that one. So I pulled them all out, and he's got these 6 action figures and like $12-13 each. They weren't much. They were not complete, but he just wanted to have them to fill in the gaps of his collection. And his wife like leaning up against the wall. I don't get this. I don't understand what this is. You know, you got a 45, 50-year-old man buying toys. The way I look at it, boy, he could be doing a lot worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
you're not going to ruin your life by buying toys.
No,
the way you would ruin your life with other vices. So,
well, that's it. You know, you're not. You know, it's not like a drug or drinking or you know,
gambling,
gambling even.
Although it is kind of gambling sometimes. Yeah,
a borderline can get there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the worry. You know, I don't want to ever see anybody. You know, and guys that are in the chat will tell you. I've told people don't do these books. Don't press them. Just don't even do it. Just go away. Or don't work on them. Don't even press them. Don't grade them. Just leave because they're not worth it. I don't want to see people spend good money, you know, like, you know, on something that's not going to be beneficial to them financially.
Yeah.
I put them in your bag, you know, and put a nice new Mylar on it and put it on your wall like you did with your 181 and enjoy it. That's all you need to do. You don't have to go that distance. You don't have to go to that degree. But some guys like it, and if they can afford it, it's like anything. If you can afford it, it's not hurting anybody. And you're feeding yourself and your family, and you're not, go for it. What the hell, you know? Some people go on vacations, like these really extravagant vacation. They drive really expensive cars that they probably don't need. You know, like why do you buy you know, some guys will buy a $20,000 car, other guys will buy an $80,000 car or $150,000 car. It's what you can afford, right? And if it's not,
well, it's like what they say these days. People talk about self-care. A hobby is a form of self-care. Totally. Collecting something is a form of self-care. You do it to love it. Yeah.
I tell you, nothing more I like when I have the time to just pull a box down and just go through it.
Yeah.
And just see what's in it. Because I forget. Like I got so much stuff in here. Like things I buy and I put them away. Even when I was a kid, I'll look through it. I have a storage facility. I go there and I have some of my original comics. They're not worth millions of dollars. Like just regular run books I've had. And I'll go there and I'll peruse my collection. I'm like, and it just brings back memory. And just pulling them out and looking at them, and I put them in order. Rebagging and boarding. What's more therapeutic than rebagging and boarding a comic? And then taking the comic, I don't have one handy, but then taking that old comic and going like this.
Yeah, breathing it in. Yeah,
Breathing it in, man.
that old newsprint. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen my old Camaro that I have. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Best part of that Camaro is not the nice red color or the nice new engine. The way the sound's kind of nice, but the best part of that Camaro is the freaking smell. When I sit in that Camaro, it's 1980. I'm just like, it's 1980. That's what it smells like. It's fantastic. I can't. The smell just brings me back to that time period. Even in my dad's old car, it's not the same car my dad drove, but the smell is exactly the same as his old Cutlass. So seeing that car and closing your eyes and smelling it, it's almost, it's like you said, it's therapeutic, man. It transports you. So yeah, collecting and whatever. And again, if you do it responsibly, it's fine. It's fine.
Totally.
Oh, Kalen's right here too. People buy $400 sneakers. That's another thing that turned into a form of gambler.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. But like, I've met some sneakerheads who have great collections. They have their collection of sneakers and everything like that. But yeah, there's some that go too far, that they buy too much. And they're almost destitute. They got their sneakers, but they can't eat, sort of thing. But there's some I know that like they have lovely, like, people have comic rooms. They have a sneaker room.
Yeah.
Set up with all the sneakers with lights and everything. It looks pretty cool. Yeah,
for sure. And sneakers are funny. I actually have, I can't mention any names again, I'm sorry, but I have a collection of books that belong to a pretty famous sneaker enthusiast.
All righty.
On hand. And this guy I'm talking is very well known. If I mention his name, people that know sneakers will know him. But I have about 100 of his books here. And I'm supposed to take pictures as I go and talk about it, but I haven't heard back from his person yet. So I haven't started. I have a whole ad to show people what we're doing, but until I get the okay from his people, like his publicists and stuff, I can't do anything. But pretty cool collection, and I think CGC is going to give him his own like label and stuff, from the collection.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So just waiting to get thumbs up before I can go forward. Nucking Fut says, "We're compulsive buyers. It's crazy when you buy stuff out of sight, out of mind. Months later, you find it and get excited all over again."
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's the best when you see that. Something you've been looking for, and there it is, you buy it. And I'll tell you, when you do find it and you can afford it, buy it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Cause if you get a chance to buy it, if you don't buy it, it's not going to be there the next time we go looking for it. Yeah.
No. I mean, the most obvious one for me is the Batman 181. I was in Buffalo. My son and I were there. We go to this flea market out in Buffalo, and it was one day a comic guy was set up, and I'm looking through, and boom, it's a 181 Batman, first Poison Ivy, nice shape, missing the pinup. It says missing pinup, $20. I want it complete, so I put it back in. I said, I don't want it. So I walked away. I walked maybe 20 minutes, not even 50 minutes away. And I'm like, you know what? $20? Am I crazy? It's the first freaking Poison Ivy. So I walked back. I was gone maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'm looking. I'm like, I can't find. He's like, it's sold. I said, what? Guy after you saw you bought it as soon as you left.
That's the thing. It's like you'll find something and put it back, and there was somebody else there who saw you find it, and now you've left it there, so they're gonna go grab it. Totally.
Yeah. I love that. I'll go and that's a good thing that people do the work for you.
Yeah.
You go to a Comic-Con, just watch guys do their thing. They'll pull them out and put them back, and they'll look at them and put them back, and you wait, you just watch them, and they leave, and then go buy it, take it, buy it. I've done that a few times too. So it happened to me. It happens to everybody, But,
there you go.
But anyway, hour 20, man. I'm getting the hell out of here. It's getting late. So, and you got things. You got reviews to do.
Yeah, no. I did an interview earlier tonight, and I gotta go edit it. Yeah.
All right. So listen, guys. Again, go find Andrew at Geek Hard. That's right here on YouTube as well. If you go to
youtube.com/GeekHardShow, you'll see some of our videos of some of our past interviews. Yeah.
And guys, you might even seen Andrew around at Fan Expo, at Comic-Con. He's there interviewing people, interviewing vendors too sometimes, I think, artists and whatever, right? So
usually, artists and stuff, and Artist Alley, and then of course some celebrities and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So go check out even the past interviews there. You mentioned the Daredevil lady, Wall's her last name.
Deborah Ann Wall. Yeah, that's still up there on the YouTube channel. I got to interview her a week after the first season of Daredevil out. But also, in the coming weeks, we've got videos upcoming because I was just at Toronto Comic-Con. So interviews with George Buza, the voice of Beast from X-Men 97. Leon Chiolo, who's an artist who does stuff for like Fortnite, Marvel Snap, and Marvel Rivals. Fred Kennedy, who's got a great image book, Dead Romans. You should definitely check out Michael Walsh, who does a bunch of horror books and has done a bunch of work for Marvel. I even talked with editor Alison O'Toole, who edits most of Chip Zdarsky's books that come out these days. So,
oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, there you go. I'm going to put a link right as soon as I hang up with you. I'm going to put the link down there so you guys can jump onto your YouTube channel. We'll have you back again at some point.
Sure.
You know?
I'm down to come back.
I appreciate it. All right, stick around for a second, Andrew. Guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you again on Tuesday, for a week from today, for another live unboxing. And I'll try to start it without glitches this time. See you guys. Bye for now.